Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so we are going to continue the chapter electrostatic. Okay, in the last class we have discussed up to charge of proton and electron. Okay, so okay, in the last class we have discussed the charge of proton and electron. So first, we know that electric charge is the property of a matter due to which it can produce electric and magnetic effects, right? Then there are two charges in nature, positive charge and negative charge. Positive charges are the protons and negative charges are the electrons. Then the unit of charge is calculated in coulomb, and the SI unit of charge is coulomb. So there are some properties of charge. First one is charge is a scalar quantity. That means charge can be added or subtracted. Next, charge is transferred. Charge can be transferred from one body to another, but only the negative charge can transfer from one body to another. Positive charges stay within the nucleus. Next, charge is always associated with mass. We know that a charge is a very small uh, thing, right? Which cannot be seen in naked eye. Only with the help of high resolution electron microscope, charge can be seen. But still, it has some mass. The mass may be negligible, but it has some mass. Next, charge is conserved. That means charge can neither be created nor be destroyed. Charge produces electric and magnetic field. Charge is quantized. Quantized means charge can be calculated only in discrete values. That means charge can be calculated only like 1 electron charge, 2 electron charge, 3 electron charge, like that. Charge cannot be calculated like half electron charge, 0.001 electron charge cannot be charge cannot be calculated in fraction and in uh, point values. Okay, it only calculated in uh, discrete values, 1 2 3, like this. Okay, so if in a body there are total number of charge is q, then we will calculate the total charge as Ne. Or capital Q equal to Ne. E is the charge of electron and N is the total number of charge present in the body. That's how we will calculate the total charge of the body. Q equal to Ne, capital Q equal to Ne. N can be any number from 1 to infinity, and E is the charge of electron. So when someone asks how we will calculate the total charge of the body, then we will calculate that charge is total charge of the body, Q equal to Ne. N can be any number and E is the charge of electron. Okay. Next, charge of proton and electron. Proton and electron has same amount of charge, which is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. But charge of electron is taken as negative and charge of proton is taken as positive. So for electron it is minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and for proton it is plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So up to this we have discussed in the last class. So now today we will continue Coulomb's law. Okay. So we know that positive charge, positive repel each other. Again, negative also repel each other, but positive and negative attract each other, right? So when the positive charge and negative charge attract each other, or when the same charges of same sign repel each other, they use some force to attract or repel, right? So that force is uh, this force is calculated by that force can be calculated by using Coulomb's law. When positive or when two charges of similar sign repel each other, and when uh, two charges of opposite sign attract each other, they use some force. That force can be calculated by Coulomb's law. So number 1 point is, okay, 1 second, huh? Okay, so by Coulomb's law, we will calculate the amount of force of attraction or repulsion between two electric charges. That force is called electrostatic force. The force is called electrostatic force. So first, according to this law, the magnitude of electric force between two static point charges in vacuum is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the two charges. First of all, that force of attraction or force of repulsion between two electric charges is directly proportional to the product of the two charges. Directly proportional means when the product of the magnitude of the two charges. So directly proportional means when the magnitude of the two charges is bigger, the force will be greater. Okay, when the magnitude is small, the force will be always small. So force always depend on the product of the magnitude of the two charges. This is F is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the two charges. First charge we will take as Q1 and second charge is Q2. So first of all, that force, electrostatic force between two charges, is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of these two charges. Next, that is next, it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them and x along the line joining the two charges. Okay, so uh, when the distance is more between the charges, we can say when the distance is more, the force will be less, and when the distance is shorter, the force will be greater. With the increase of the distance, force will be decreased, and with the decrease of the distance, force will increase. So that's why it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges and acts along the line joining the two charges. That means the force will be a straight line. Force will act in a straight line. So first, number 1 point, F proportional to Q1 into Q2. Number 2, F proportional to 1 by R square. Inversely proportional means 1 by. F proportional to 1 by R square. So combining these two, we get F is proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square. Now to remove the proportionality sign, we have to put some constant, right? We have to put some constant. So we take the constant as k. This is the value of k. Here no need to put down 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. You can put k. K equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay. K, and this is the same thing. So F equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square. This is the final formula for the force of attraction or repulsion between the two charges. Okay. So the nature of the charge will depend on the sign of the two charges. Nature of the nature of the force means whether the force is attractive or repulsive, that will be depend on the sign of the charges. If both the charges have same sign, then the force will be repulsive. When the two charges have opposite sign, then the force will be attractive. So and the force will always act in a straight line. So this is Coulomb's law. As for Coulomb's law, we get F equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square. K is the proportionality constant, or we, in place of K, we can write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. K and 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught have same value. Okay. K is the proportionality constant. K equal to, the mathematical value of K is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square divided by Coulomb square. Newton is the unit of charge, meter is the unit of distance, and Newton is the unit of force, meter is the unit of distance, and C or Coulomb is the unit of charge. So the unit of K is Newton meter square divided by Coulomb square. Okay. So in place of K, you can also write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. They both have same value, 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square divided by Coulomb square. Coulomb's law, also called inverse square law. See, since the force is proportional to the, inversely proportional to the square of the distance, therefore Coulomb's law also called inverse square law. So, do you have any question on Coulomb's law? You can ask if you have any confusion.
Can you repeat?
Which part?
Coulomb's law?
Which part? From beginning?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we already know that when charges with same electrical sign repel each other, and charges with opposite electrical sign attract each other, right? That means positive charge repel, negative charge repel, and positive negative attract each other. So when the charges attract or repel each other, they use some force for attraction or repulsion. That force is explained by Coulomb, and that is called Coulomb's law. So number 1 point, that the force is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the two charges. That means F proportional to Q1, Q2. Q is the magnitude of the first charge and Q2 is the magnitude of the second charge. So directly proportional to the product means when the charges have higher magnitude, force is higher. When the charges have lower magnitude, force is lower. Okay, so depending the force is the amount of force is always depend on the magnitude. Whether the force is small or greater, that depends on the magnitude. Okay, so F proportional to Q1, Q2. First point. Second point is the force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. That means with the increase of the distance between the charges, force will decrease. If the distance between the two charges is very large, then then the force will be so small. The force acting on the charges will be very small. If the distance is very small between the two charges, the force will be higher. Okay, so it will inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the charges. With the increase of the distance, force decreases, and with the decrease of the distance, force increases. So second point, F proportional to 1 by r square, or F inversely proportional to r square. Inversely mean 1 by r square. Okay, so now combining both the equation, we can say that F proportional to Q1 Q2 by r square. Okay, so we to get a particular value, we have to remove that proportionality sign, and to remove that proportionality sign, we need a constant. That constant is taken as K. So F equal to K Q1 Q2 by r square. K or 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. K and 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught both have same value. So here you can write K or 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. That is the constant of proportionality. So this is the force between two charges Q1 and Q2. The force can be attraction or repulsion depending upon the sign of the charges. If the charges have some electrical sign, force will be attraction, force will be repulsion, and if they have opposite sign, force will be attraction. This force is called electrostatic force. Okay, the name of the force is electrostatic force, and it acts along the straight line between the two charges. Okay, so the value of K is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square divided by Coulomb square. Newton is the unit of force, meter is the unit of distance, and Coulomb is the unit of charge. So this is the unit of K, Newton meter square divided by Coulomb square. So Coulomb's law, since the force depends upon the square of the distance between inversely, for the force is proportional to inversely proportional to square of the distance. So Coulomb's law also called inverse square law. Another name of Coulomb's law is inverse square law. Okay. Next is electric field. Okay, so when a force attract or repel another force, it can attract or repel another force only a certain distance only. If uh, uh, the area around a charged particle up to which it can attract or repel another charged particle is called its electric field. The area around a charged particle. If the if the charge is not in its electric field, then it will not get attracted or repelled. See, first of all, let us take a charge Q. Charge capital Q as a source charge. We will calculate the electric field of that charge. Okay, that is taken as the source charge. Now we take a unit positive charge. Okay, unit positive charge. Unit means 1. The magnitude of the positive charge is 1. So we take a unit positive charge, and when we place in a area around the electric field of the source charge, the unit positive charge will get attracted or repelled depending upon the sign of the source charge, that is capital Q. So when we put the charge when we put the positive charge or the test charge near the source charge, it will get attracted or repelled easily. But when we take the unit positive charge away from the uh, source charge, it may get attracted or repelled or may not, depending upon whether the positive charge is in its electric field area or not. So electric field area is the area around a charged particle up to which it can attract or repel another charged particle. Okay, a positive charge or a negative charge is said to be create its field around itself. The space around a charge in which another charged particle experiences a force is said to have electric field in it. Okay, if it is attracted or repelled, that means the force is present in another charge. The charge is present in another charge electric field area. The electric field is a vector quantity. Vector quantity means electric field has magnitude as well as direction. Okay, electric field has magnitude as well as direction. And the direction of the field lines depend on the sign of the source charge. Okay, so the direction will depend on the sign of the source charge. If the source charge is positive, then the direction will be outward, since we always take the test charge as positive. So positive, positive repel. So direction of the source charge will be, direction of electric field will be outwards. Okay, and if the source charge is negative, the direction of the test charge will be inwards. Okay, let me show you a picture. Okay, see here, it is a positive charge and it is a negative charge. These are called source charge. Since we are calculating the electric field of these charges, this testing the calculating or testing the electric field of these charges, these charges are called source charge. Okay, then we will take a unit positive charge. unit positive charge, that means the magnitude of that positive charge is 1, and unit positive charge, and we will test the electric field of these source charges. See here, the direction of electric field is outward, since the positive source charge will always repel the positive test charge. That's why in case of positive source charge, the direction of electric field is outwards, and here it is a negative source charge, and when we bring the positive charge around the negative charge, it will get attracted, right? That's why the direction is inwards. So for a negative charge, the direction of electric field is inwards, and for a positive charge, direction of electric field is outward. See, this is the electric field area of the positive charge, and this is the electric field area of the negative charge. When we put the source charge very away from the when we put the test charge very away from the source charge, it will not feel any force. So that means the test charge is not in its electric field area. When the test charge is in its electric field area, then only it can apply force on that source charge. So this is the electric field area due to a positive charge and due to a negative charge. It is, since the electric field has both direction as well as magnitude, that's why the electric field is a vector quantity. A vector quantity is a quantity which has both magnitude and direction. Let me tell you one more thing. The intensity or the force is always higher at the nearest area. Okay, the nearest area around the charge is the intensity or force is always highest. As the test charge go away from the source charge, the intensity or force decreases. As it goes near the source charge, the intensity is higher. As it goes away from the source charge, intensity is lower. Okay, the electric field is a vector quantity, and the direction of the electric field lines depend on the sign of the source charge. Okay. Electric field vectors point away from a positively charged source and toward negatively charged charge. So this is the direction of electric field. Next is electric field intensity. Okay. The electric field intensity at any point in defined as the force experienced by a unit positive charge placed at that point. So electric field intensity is the force experienced by the unit positive charge at any point of the electric field. I have already told you that as we go towards the source charge, intensity increases. As we go away from the source charge, intensity decreases. So electric field intensity is the force experienced by the unit positive charge at any point of the electric field. So since electric field intensity is the force experienced by the unit positive charge at a point, therefore E equal to F divided by Q. Okay, next is E equal to K. This should be capital Q, not small q. KQ by R square. This should be, please make in your copies, this is capital Q, not small q. This should be capital Q, E equal to F by small q or equal to E capital Q by R square. Small q means charge of the unit positive charge. Capital Q means charge of the source charge. So I will explain this in the next class because I have to make it correct. Okay. If you have any confusion till this, you can ask.
Thank you.
No confusion, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So wait. Don't leave the meeting.